didn't survive for centuries because it had amazing emperors. It survived because a few individuals knew the secrets to gaining and maintaining absolute power. Some completely rewrote the system. Some stretched it beyond its limits. Some destroyed it entirely so that Rome was forced to reinvent itself. And one of these individuals wasn't even an emperor. This isn't about boring lists, and it's most definitely not about rankings. This is about Rome's historical impact. Did you know that Julius Caesar was technically never even a Roman emperor? Well, we're not going to leave him out, since he is kind of a big deal. Before Caesar, Rome was a republic held together by traditions, compromises, and fragile political balances. Power was temporary, with rulers being cycled one after the other. Caesar must have gotten bored of all that, because here is what he did next. By tying political power directly to military loyalty, Caesar transformed Roman legions from state institutions into personal instruments. His soldiers weren't just loyal to Rome, they were loyal to him. That single shift changed everything. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon, it wasn't just a military decision, it was a declaration that armed force could actually dictate politics. After that moment, marching on Rome itself was no longer unthinkable, it was proven possible. As a dictator for life, Caesar removed the final illusion that power had an expiration date. Leadership stopped being temporary from that point onwards, and once that happened, monarchy became inevitable. His assassination didn't save the Republic, it confirmed that it was already dead. Caesar never wore the title of emperor, but after him, Rome could no longer imagine power without one man at the center. He didn't take the throne, he made it inevitable. Now, once Rome realized that absolute power worked, the next challenge was to see just how far they could push it. Augustus learned from Caesar's mistakes. He kept the power, but removed the appearance. Romans hated kings but longed for stability. Augustus understood that control didn't need to look like domination, so he quietly took authority while preserving a republican image. He centralized power without openly declaring dictatorship. The Senate still existed, elections still happened, laws were still passed, but none of them functioned without him. Augustus ensured the army answered directly to the state, which meant answering to him. Military loyalty became institutional instead of personal, and the best part? No one could even tell that he was behind all of it, a mistake that cost Caesar his life. By dominating taxes, military pay, and state finances, Augustus made sure all major money flow went through him. No rival could oppose him, as he had control of the money and inevitably control of the state. And most importantly, Rome survived his death. For the first time, succession didn't mean civil war. That alone justified the imperial system in the public mind. Augustus didn't just rule Rome, he created a system that could survive him. Every emperor after him ruled using his genius model afterwards. And once the system existed, Rome faced a harder question. Could power remain competent? Under Trajan, Rome reached its greatest territorial extent. But Trajan's true impact wasn't conquest, it was management. He didn't just seize territory, he absorbed it administratively, building roads, cities, and legal structures immediately after expansion. Growth worked because governance followed. Trajan proved that imperial power could be aggressive and functional. Expansion didn't automatically lead to chaos, but only if it was paired with competent administration. His reign set the upper limit of Roman growth. Later emperors learned from both his success and his restraint. Rome would never again expand this far sustainably. Hadrian inherited Trajan's empire and made a decision few rulers ever do. He stopped. Hadrian recognized that conquest was no longer profitable. Holding territory mattered more than acquiring it. He strengthened borders, replaced expansion with defense, and invested in permanent garrisons. Walls became strategy, not weakness. Instead of chasing glory, Hadrian traveled the empire personally, repairing administration and enforcing consistency through meaningful connection and conversations. He didn't just make Rome larger, he made it durable. That shift from conquest to control changed Roman strategy forever. But even the strongest systems eventually face crisis. Marcus Aurelius ruled during relentless disaster. Wars on multiple fronts, a devastating plague, economic strain. Few emperors governed under worse conditions. Yet Marcus ruled with restraint. He believed authority required responsibility, not indulgence. Power remained measured, even when pressure demanded force. His writings revealed a ruler who understood the weight of command. Leadership wasn't entitlement, it was obligation. Marcus Aurelius became the moral benchmark for imperial authority. Ironically, his reign also exposed Rome's greatest weakness. Good leadership wasn't hereditary. After him, instability returned. By the late 3rd century, Rome was unraveling. Diocletian didn't try to restore the past, he redesigned the system. He accepted a hard truth: the empire was too complex for one ruler. By splitting power deliberately, Diocletian reduced overload and rebellion. Multiple emperors replaced heroic leadership with bureaucracy. He reorganized taxation and administration, making the empire governable again, even if less flexible. Diocletian didn't save the old Rome, he created a new one. After him, the empire was no longer a single political organism, it became a managed system. And then came the emperor, who changed not just how Rome ruled, but what Rome was. Constantine transformed Rome permanently. By legalizing Christianity, he turned religion into an instrument of unity. Authority was no longer purely military or political, it became ideological. Imperial legitimacy changed. Divine favor became part of power. By founding a new capital in the east, Constantine acknowledged Rome's shifting center of gravity. The empire adapted geographically. After Constantine, Rome was no longer just Roman, it became Christian, imperial, and fundamentally different from its past. His influence shaped Europe for centuries. These rulers mattered, not because of titles, but because they altered systems. Most emperors ruled. A few changed how power itself functioned. Those are the ones history remembers. Well, that's every Roman emperor with the greatest historical impact, including the man who made emperors inevitable. If you enjoyed this breakdown, feel free to check out more of our videos and comment down below which emperor's impact surprised you.